Before we dive into this story, hit that subscribe button for more powerful, real-life stories that'll keep you hooked, and drop the name of your city or hometown in the comments. I'd love to know where you're watching from. Now, lean in. This one's personal. My chest was a vault. For years, I handed out the combination to everyone I called family, trusting, naive, believing that's what love meant. But the night they tried to empty it completely, something inside me snapped. I remember standing in my new apartment, the lights off except for the faint glow of the city outside. My daughter's mobile spun slowly above the crib in the corner, casting soft shadows on the walls. The quiet felt heavy. And in that silence, I made a decision, one that would change everything. I was going to build a life they thought they could take from me. And I was going to make sure they never touched it again. My name is Adam Cole. And this isn't just a story about an apartment, it's about the weight of a promise. How it feels when it's yours to keep, and how it burns when someone else tries to rewrite it for their own benefit. 3 months earlier, I was standing in the backyard of my cousin's place at a gender reveal party. Pink and blue streamers swayed in the breeze, twisting overhead like lies waiting to unravel. Clara, my wife, was holding my hand, but I could feel it trembling. My older brother, Damon, raised his beer, flashing that grin of his, the one that always looked more like a warning than a smile. To Adam and Clara, he said, his voice full of fake warmth. Then he tilted his glass toward me. But let's be real, that apartment of yours. It's ours by right. The laughter and chatter froze instantly. It was like someone had pulled the plug on the whole party. All eyes shifted toward me. My mother, Elaine, leaned in just enough for her diamond earrings to catch the sunlight. Once the baby comes, we'll move in. That's the way it should be, she said with a tone so casual it could almost be mistaken for kindness, if you didn't know her. Clara's breath caught. My jaw locked. But before I could say anything, my phone buzzed in my pocket. A text from an unknown number lit up the screen. Stay calm. They're watching you. I glanced around and caught my cousin Felix pretending to take pictures of the cupcakes, his phone angled just enough to capture me in the background. My pulse spiked. I raised my glass and forced a smile. Bold opinion, Damon. Especially for family. My voice was smooth, cold. Then I excused myself, stepping away from the crowd. Inside the stairwell, my fingers flew over my phone. I opened the security app linked to our apartment. Every access code my family had, erased. Guest passes. Revoked. I changed the master code and locked the system tight. By sunrise, my phone had 73 missed calls. I didn't lease that apartment to show off. Clara and I got it because we needed a fortress. For years, my family had treated me like their personal safety net, their fixer, their emergency fund. For years back, my parents' car loan blew up into a financial mess. My dad called it bad luck. My mom called me her anchor. I covered the payments. Not once. Not twice. But every single month until the loan was gone. Then came Damon, rent shortfalls, overdue phone bills, sudden emergencies. He always swore he'd pay me back. He never did. I took extra shifts, skipped meals, told Clara it would all end soon. She kept telling me to set boundaries. I kept promising her I would. But I didn't. When my uncle's cabin sold, Mom hinted that the money should be shared, for the good of the family. But then she suggested Damon should get more because he needed it sooner. Meanwhile, Clara and I were quietly draining our savings to cover adoption fees. When the sale closed, my share amounted to nothing more than a pat on the back. So I made it happen myself. Scraped together every cent I could. Found a fixer-upper apartment in a rundown building. Negotiated hard on the lease. Clara and I moved in with thrift store chairs and second-hand kitchenware. Weekends were spent patching walls, rewiring old outlets, scrubbing decades of grime off the floors. My hands cracked. My shoulders ached. But it was ours. Then Mom came over one afternoon, looked out the window, and said, "This feels like our space." I laughed it off. Big mistake. The request started small. Dad needed help paying off his phone plan, never paid me back. Mom wanted cash for a vet bill, gone without thanks. Damon begged for a deposit on a new place after ditching his old one. I paid it just to keep him from moving in with our parents and starting another fire I'd have to put out. When Clara and I announced our adoption at a family barbecue, Damon smirked and asked if the second bedroom could stay open for him and his girlfriend, just in case. Mom nodded like it was already settled. Clara's nails dug into my palm. Rumors began spreading. Mom swore that Uncle meant the apartment for all of us. Damon started texting me late at night with paint color suggestions like he was redesigning the place. Every time I said no, to money, to access, to favors, it got ugly. "You've changed," Mom said. "That lease made you cold," Damon accused. He even showed up with a spreadsheet, move-in dates, storage arrangements, closet divisions. I told him to forget it. He called me selfish. Mom texted, "He's struggling. Step up." Then Clara got screenshots from a cousin. Group chats buzzing with, "Adam hijacked the family's future. That place is ours." I sent everything to my lawyer friend. His advice was simple: log everything. So I did. Added cameras. Reset the key card system. Locked them out completely. Damon called it a slap in the face. Dad warned, "Don't burn bridges you'll need later." Clara cried in the parking lot, asking if our daughter would grow up in a home where locks meant nothing. The gender reveal. That was their trap. Damon's toast wasn't spontaneous, it was rehearsed. They wanted me to blow up on camera, to paint me as unhinged, to justify taking the apartment, for the baby's sake. I didn't give them the show. Instead, I made my real move. I sold a small storage unit my uncle had left me, one they didn't know existed. I used the money to pay off the last phone bill I'd been covering for them. Then I blocked autopay and sent a final message, "Last help. No more." That night, Damon's truck was parked across my spot, him leaning against it like he owned the asphalt. Inside my kitchen, my parents stood with their coats on, like they'd already moved in. "Short term," Dad said. 8 months. I laughed. 8 months is a takeover. It's just an apartment, Mom rolled her eyes. That's when it all broke. I pulled out my phone, opened the security app, and deleted their key cards right in front of them. "Leave," I said. Damon's eyes went wide. Dad's face turned red. "You'll pay for this," he growled. I wouldn't bet on it. The next morning, the unknown number texted me again, "Brace for a safety check." Sure enough, the police showed up later that day. I greeted them calmly, handed over my lease, my security footage, and, thanks to my reclusive aunt, video proof of Damon rehearsing that off-the-cuff toast. One officer shook his head. "Babies bring out the worst in families." I sent formal no-entry notices to every family member. I tightened the visitor list with the adoption agency. And for the first time in years, I felt the ground under my feet. My daughter, Ivy, arrived on a stormy Thursday. In the agency office, her tiny fingers wrapped around mine, and the noise of the past months vanished. No buzzing phones. No pounding on my door. No bags on my doorstep. Just us. I'm not the monster they made me out to be, and I'm not the hero I tried to be for them. I'm just a dad who finally learned that love doesn't mean giving away the keys to your own home. They thought I'd cave. They were wrong. I chose my girl. My wife. My life. If this story hit you hard, share it. And tell me, have you ever had to change a lock to save your own peace? Drop your experience in the comments. Subscribe for more stories like this, because sometimes the toughest walls build the safest homes.